Madam Speaker, the right to a spatially integrated and united city. In this right, we're talking about the progress we've made with regards to being the pioneers of the bus rapid transit system when we launched the Rea Vaya system. This has now become a model for similar developments in other cities. Today, we're taking transit-oriented development to another level. We're taking a move forward. We're saying Rea Vaya was the beginning. We're now using it to upscale the way in which we redefine our city along these transit-oriented corridors. We're introducing mechanisms and systems of redefining the spatial structure of Johannesburg. So that when we talk about the morphology of Johannesburg, it is not just a morphology of its past, captive in its present. It is about a redesigned city. Over the decade, when we introduce these transit corridors, we'll be connecting strategic nodes through an affordable and accessible mass transit system that includes both bus and passenger rail. Along these corridors, we'll locate mixed-income housing, schools, offices, community facilities, cultural centers, parks, public squares, clinics, and libraries. A transit-oriented development will change the entrenched settlement patterns of Johannesburg. It will also slow down the process of urban sprawl and uncontrolled spread of low-density developments on the fringes of the city. An effective and affordable public transport system will link these nodes, which are located on the arteries like beads on a necklace, enabling residents to travel only short distances between home and work, cutting down costs on travel and time. Madam Speaker, these corridors will be the corridors of freedom. These corridors, as I say, these corridors of freedom will mobilize the dynamic energy of this city, connecting important and strategic nodes such as Rosebank, the inner city, Sandton, and the township CBDs to each other. Over time, we will eliminate the need for private vehicles as the city progressively moves towards an effective public transport system, cycling lanes, and pedestrian walkways. This move will change traffic patterns, reduce travel times, and cut down on noxious carbon emissions and exhaust fumes. This will result in a cleaner, healthier environment and improvements in the quality of life enjoyed by the residents and visitors. Living areas will be located in close proximity to office developments, and these will be surrounded by opportunities for shopping, leisure, and recreation. Mixed-use development will spring around the transport nodes along these corridors of freedom, bringing schools, clinics, police stations, and government offices much closer to communities. In fact, we're saying, should we be renaming these transit corridors, these corridors of freedom, to reflect, in fact, our heart's desire? We will be consulting with the residents of Johannesburg around how we talk about renaming the corridor. I'll make examples of 2 corridors, 2 or 3. Anyway, let me decide. I'll decide as I speak. One of the corridors we're talking about is what is currently called the Empire Perth Corridor. It starts where the universities are on Empire Road. It moves on Empire Road down south, southwest, towards the hospitals. Rahima Musa moves beyond the hospitals and gets to Southgate, not Southgate, Highgate. Before it gets to Highgate, it moves past Westbury and Claremont. Moving beyond those areas, it gets to Highgate. Beyond Highgate, it gets to New Canada. Beyond New Canada, it gets to Noordgesig. beyond Noordgesig, it gets to Orlando East, Orlando West, and beyond Orlando East, Orlando West, it gets to Kliptown. So this is the corridor along which, when we talk about these high intense developments that are driven by transit, where we will invest bulk infrastructure, ensure that the routes are available and the infrastructure is available for the high intensity developments that we anticipate. This is one of those corridors. Honorable Member Nkosi of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. The other corridor will start in the inner city. In fact, it will start in Westgate. It will move into Hillbrow and Yeoville, on to Louis Porter. Go past Louis Porter, go to Bramley, past Bramley, go towards Vincent Shawalala Road in Alexandra. And I tell him how it doesn't stop there. It arrives, as Mam Kiza would say, in Labelich. It will arrive in Ruby Ridge, it will arrive in Ivory Park, it will arrive in Midrand. This is a corridor along which these high-intensity developments will take place that stitch together a historically divided city. These are the corridors of freedom we're talking about. MMC Vondo, MMC Greef. I still do think that it would be valuable to rename these corridors to reflect, in fact, the freedoms that we so aspire to achieve. The urban design will strongly encourage this move away from private cars. Streets and sidewalks will be designed to facilitate the use of bicycles, and safety measures will create an amenable environment for pedestrians. Parking along the street curbs will be limited, and traffic calming measures will make it increasingly difficult for private vehicles to enter the new pedestrian-friendly neighborhoods.